Hello there. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here tonight. Find a soft, comfortable place to settle in. Take a slow, deep breath, and as you let it out, allow your shoulders to drop. Let your eyelids grow just a little heavier. Tonight, we're going to drift far back in time. Together, we'll wander along dusty paths, ancient roads, and hidden courtyards. We'll follow in the quiet footsteps of the first messengers and postmasters, those silent carriers of words and news. So whenever you're ready, close your eyes, or let them grow soft and hazy, and join me on this gentle journey through the hidden story of the ancient post. The origins of the messenger. Long before the hum of engines or the tap of keys, humans found ways to send their thoughts across miles of open land. Imagine a time when a message was a small miracle, when words traveled not through wires, but on the feet of quiet runners, or the hooves of patient horses, or the wings of trained birds. It's said that as early as ancient Egypt, there were organized couriers who carried Pharaoh's commands along the Nile. A simple papyrus scroll, a tiny clay tablet, cradled carefully in a pouch or tied to a reed staff. The messenger would set off at dawn, moving through reed marshes where ibis birds waited in silence, while the river's breath carried news downstream. Picture the calm banks of the Nile at sunrise. A solitary figure in linen, sandals soft against the warm earth, with only the hush of water and reeds to keep him company. No rush, no roar, just steady steps and a message in hand. The roads of Persia. Farther east, in the mighty Persian Empire, King Cyrus the Great built one of the first true postal roads. Long before asphalt and cars, these roads were the veins of an empire. They called it the Angarium, a relay system where riders changed horses at way stations, the soft echo of hooves on packed earth. A small stable, a sleepy handler waiting with a fresh horse, a cup of cool water for the rider. This system stretched for thousands of miles, from the royal court in Susa all the way to the distant edges of the realm. It was said that nothing stopped these messengers, not darkness, not rain, nor heat, nor snow. Always moving forward, softly bridging vast kingdoms with the quiet power of a letter. In your mind's ear, hear the gentle clop of hooves, the low murmur of stable hands, the sigh of the wind moving across endless plains. Imperial roads of Rome. Now we find ourselves in ancient Rome, where the cursus publicus, the public way, wove a web across Europe and beyond. Picture those famed Roman roads, stone-paved and arrow-straight, carved through forest and field alike. Along these routes, messengers known as tabellari carried sealed wax tablets for senators, soldiers, and merchants. They rode sturdy horses, or sometimes carts pulled by mules, the wheels whispering over cobblestone. At intervals, mutaciones, fresh horse stations, and mansiones, rest houses, welcomed them with flickering lanterns and bowls of warm stew. The nights were cold, the fires crackled softly, and outside, an owl might call as the next rider prepared to depart beneath the stars. Take a slow breath and feel the warmth of that hearth, the quiet companionship of a fire waiting in the heart of a Roman roadside inn. Birds and secret messages. Not every messenger had 2 legs or 4. In ancient Greece and parts of the Middle East, clever keepers trained pigeons to carry tiny scrolls tied to their legs. From city to city, these birds crossed seas and hills, finding their way home with quiet determination. A simple dovecote in a shaded courtyard, white wings fluttering softly, the hush of cooing feathers at dawn. Small messages slipped into slender tubes, news of trade ships arriving, distant battles ended, or gentle words sent from one heart to another. There's something calming in imagining these soft-winged couriers drifting high above marble temples and olive groves, free from roads and dust. carried only by the wind. Outside the dovecote, you might hear a breeze through cypress trees, the faint rustle of feathers, and distant bells from a hillside temple, messengers of the Mongol Empire. Across the sweeping steppes of Asia, the Mongol Empire perfected the art of the relay. They called it the yam, a vast system of posts and horse stations stretching from China to Eastern Europe. Skilled riders raced across grasslands, guided by stars at night and the endless horizon by day. They carried leather pouches sealed with the Khan's insignia, words that could change the fate of distant cities. Yet for the rider, it was often a solitary journey. The hush of the steppe, broken only by the wind and the rhythmic drumming of hooves. At each station, a simple wooden shelter, a pot of stew simmering on an open fire, fresh horses grazing under the moon. Imagine the soft whistle of the steppe wind, the smell of wood smoke drifting skyward, and a lone rider drifting into sleep beside the embers. Paper, seals, and secrets. In each of these ancient postal webs, the messages themselves were small treasures, sealed with wax and stamped with rings, rolled into scrolls tied with silk cord, or pressed into clay tablets baked hard by the sun. Some were mundane: orders for grain, requests for blankets, a letter home from a soldier far away. Others carried secrets, coded and hidden, trusted only to the swiftest feet or wings. Imagine the careful hands folding parchment, dripping warm wax from a candle, pressing a signet ring to lock thoughts inside. All of it done in the hush of a quiet chamber, the distant flicker of lantern light, and the soft scratching of a reed pen on vellum. Perhaps, somewhere nearby, you might hear the faint crackle of a fireplace and the distant song of crickets outside a window. Messengers in everyday life. What did life look like for the messengers themselves? They were not always warriors or nobles. Often they were ordinary people, strong and patient, trusted with a family's private words or a ruler's decree. They rose before dawn, checked their satchels by flickering lantern, fed their horses or strapped on sturdy sandals. Some rode alone through misty forests. Others joined caravans for safety, sharing fireside bread and soft laughter under the stars. A messenger's reward was not just coin, but the soft thrill of the road, the changing landscapes, the countless dawns seen first before anyone else. Close your eyes and picture the soft shuffle of feet on a forest path, the hush of birds waking at dawn, and a gentle rain tapping on a canvas cloak. The faded trails. So many of these ancient postal roads are gone now, grown over with moss and wildflowers, hidden beneath cities and fields. Yet if you listen carefully, you might hear the echo of hooves and boots that once carried news from door to door. The stones remember. The quiet hills remember. And tonight, as you rest, perhaps you'll travel those old roads in your dreams, walking dusty trails lined with olive trees, riding sturdy horses under a quiet moon, or watching white doves vanish into a soft morning sky. A quiet good night. And now, dear traveler, you've walked far enough for tonight. The messages are safely delivered, the fires are banked low, and the horses rest in their stalls. Let your mind drift like a gentle letter carried by a trusted friend to the quiet shores of sleep. The roads are soft beneath your feet, the wind a lullaby through ancient trees. There is nowhere else to go now, nothing left to carry, except this peaceful hush that settles in your chest. Sleep well, sweet messenger. The night will hold your dreams, and the ancient roads will wait for you again tomorrow. Good night.